My name is Dr. Sunita. I am a physician trained in preventive cardiology. I am a researcher, an epidemiologist, and working in an academic institution. I am my origin. I am not a. I was not born in U.S. I was born in a developing country, Pakistan. So I was born and raised in Pakistan, which is a developing country with a literacy rate of less than 10%. My journey from Pakistan, from childhood to where I am now, has been quite an experience. And I feel grateful that I've got this opportunity to share my journey with you all. Born and brought up and raised in Pakistan. I am the fourth sibling among five siblings. When I was at the age of 2 years, before I go there, I wanted to mention this very clearly, that when I was born, I was a very active child. I started walking and running at the age of 8 months. My mom always said that she's the one who gave me the most trouble, because every child took their own time. And, in learning how to walk and to climb and sit, I was the fast runner. I was the one who started everything very quickly at the age of 8 months. Very active child. Unfortunately, at the age of 2 years, I contracted polio. Polio is a virus that affects the nerves ending, which are called as neurons, and weakens muscles. The sensation remains, but the muscles get weak, sometimes to the extent that muscles are paralyzed. Polio can be prevented by polio vaccine. I think we all know this. It is unfortunate that countries like Pakistan do not have a mandatory vaccination plan. So it was not just me who did not receive polio vaccine. All my other siblings did not receive polio vaccine or any other vaccine. So when I contracted polio, my parents, they gave polio plus other vaccines to all the remaining kids. And this was as per my mom, who is my role model, and my father. I am here because of them, and you will know why. It was that one morning, when I got up from bed, I couldn't kind of walk. I fell. And because I was the naughty child, my mom said that, I'm having these kind of pranks or tricks. But every time when I got up, I fell. And I started crying, and my mom is not taking me seriously. I said, "No, Ma, I can't walk. I don't feel any muscle, And that was the time when they paid attention that my muscles were flaccid. They took me to a doctor. And all my 4 limbs were affected. Both legs and both arms. I couldn't sit. I couldn't stand. From such an active child to somebody who was bedbound, it was too much. And I was a child. I was like 2 years of age. I couldn't understand, As per my mom, I used to cry all the time that you have done something. I know you did not like me, that I started walking so early. I mean, blaming my parents, blaming my siblings, my brothers and sisters. But the reality was that I contracted polio, and it affected all limbs. Everybody was shocked. I mean, this never happened to any child in both my maternal side and paternal side families. As I said, that Pakistan is a country with a very low literacy rate, and we come from a lower middle class family. My father was a government officer, Um, you can say, I mean, my father's salary may be 100 or $150 per month. I had 4 kids. My father paid attention to education. So even if we didn't have our own house or had any asset, my father always believed that education is the best gift that he can give to his kids. His story is also something worth mentioning here, that my father's stepmother never treated my father equally compared to her own kids. And my father was the only child in his own family, which was a huge family, who went to the level to study engineering in a big city like Karachi. Karachi is one of the metropolitan cities of Pakistan. So my father was also shocked because he was in government, A, and B, he was linked with the health department. So he always cursed himself that how can I save other kids when I could not save my own daughter and I could not give her vaccination. At that point, as my grandparents were also living with us, my uncle, my father's younger brother, was also living with us. So my grandmother, my father's stepmother, she kind of pushed my father that now that she has polio, she can't even sit. She's all the time lying. And she won't be ever able to walk or even move her limbs. In this case, the best thing will be to put her in an orphanage because A, nobody will marry her. And let's take an instance that suppose, somebody has some kind of a pity with her and she grows up and, even if she gets some assisted devices or something to walk, she will not be able to give birth to a child. So this was the understanding that polio impacts reproductive system also. So everybody forced my father, mainly my father, because countries like Pakistan, women remain very submissive, under control of a chauvinistic man. And my mom was not even allowed to kind of participate in decision-making. That was all men. However, my mother was the one, she comes from, I don't want to say she comes from an educated family because no, she is not. In fact, on the contrary, my mother did not even go to school. So if you define my mom from the literacy definition point of view, my mother is illiterate because she has never been to school. So it was my mother, God bless her, she's no more. She stood among all these chauvinistic men and her own in-laws and said, no matter my other 3 kids go to school or not, I will make her a doctor. This was her courage. And this was my mom, who stood up, and then my father supported her. Had she not stood up for me at that point, because I did not know. I was 2 years of age. For me, it was more important to play and wrestle with my brothers and sisters, my siblings. For me, the life was gone, that I'm just lying on the bed and other people are making decisions for me. I had no clue. I only wanted answers. What has happened? When can I just stand up again? So it was my mom who said that she will make sure that I become a doctor. So for 5 years, my father left job. And both my mother and my father, they took me to physiotherapy day and night. I mean, when they came home, anything they heard from anybody, acupuncture or allopathy, homeopathy, they tried everything on me. Even taking shares from other siblings, so that with the hope that one day I will be a normal child, and which I did. After 4 to 5 years of continuous physical therapy, my 3 limbs recovered 100%. My right leg was the one that was impacted the most, with zero power and muscles. Even today, it is. My my quadriceps is 0. My hamstring is 1. So that was only the right leg required an assisted device brace, which even after 53 years, I have been bearing this brace. I'll be 53 this August 2023, so 52. So it's been, it has been challenging. Let me stop here. How it is to live life as a woman in a developing country. So let me tell you that it is very difficult. Even just being a woman, it is difficult. Then, in my case, being a woman, a minority woman, we are Hindus, and Pakistan is a Muslim country. As being a minority woman, and then on top of that, a minority woman with a physical disability. Look at the combo. You put all these combo in a model, it equals to 0 survival. Because countries like Pakistan or even India or Sri Lanka and all these other countries where women are considered only as a symbol for marriage, taking care of kids, giving birth to kids and then raising these kids. That's what women are for. And here I am, with a disability that I can't even take care of myself. How will I take care if I get married? So life was very, very challenging. As I said, the first 4 years was I couldn't walk. I slowly started walking. And again, if my parents were not with me, I don't think I would have been at this position where I am today. It is because of my parents. So for me, yes, my parents were important. And I am here today because of them. But for me, my mother is and always will be very important. Because of her, I am here today. Had she not taken, had she not put her foot down at that point, among those family people, this chauvinistic men, and against her in-laws, today I would have been in an orphanage. So having parents, it doesn't matter. Everybody says, and I think if I have to give a message to all of you is, people say that education makes a difference. It does, for sure. But education is not the only thing that makes a difference. I have gone through this myself. I have seen many women also. I have seen educated people behaving as an uneducated people. My mother, as I said, by definition, she was not educated because she never went to school. But she was the one, and she came from a middle-class family too. And that too in developing countries where women are considered as a second-class citizens. She was the one who stood up and took the action at the right time for raising me and for making me a doctor, making me a cardiologist, so that I can be example for other women. So life was challenging, and it's. I do recall, if I can quote, when I started walking, so they put me to school. My father very strictly told all the teachers that please make sure she does during the recess time, she does not go downstairs because, he was worried that I may fall. So I was wearing brace and all that. I still had, of course, I was a child. I was like 6, 7 years of age when I started going to school. And every teacher was told that, just give her more homework, because the goal was, I only have to study. I have to study so that I can fulfill my mother's dream to become a doctor. And that is what I did. I started, I took 2, 3 classes together, 2nd and 3rd class together, 5th and 6th class together. I finished 12 years of schooling into 9 years. Because that is what my parents wanted. Even if I didn't want it, I wanted to go out and play. Look at the kids playing, from my window, from my classroom window, looking at those kids playing during the recess time. And I was not allowed to go out. I mean, they were protecting me, but I didn't understand. I was a child at that time. And then when a little more awareness came in, when I was 12 years of age or maybe 13, my father started taking me out in the market, for shopping, for groceries or running errands and all that. And I could clearly see that, people used to laugh at me because of my abnormal walk in front of me. It happens once, it happened twice, that is all the time. And even if I avoided not to go, but my father and my mom, especially my father, he was like, no, let's go out, let's go and get something from outside. Your mom wants this. I said, that take some other child when you are taking me all the time. And I did not understand at that time. So finally I asked my father that, can't you see that, and I used to cry a lot, that people are making fun of me. They're passing comments. They're calling me names. As if I'm a person from a different world. I have no right to live because I'm not normal. Why do you do this to me? Why you take me out in the market? Then he told me something which I did not realize at that time, but slowly it did sink in. That this whole world will remain the same. Nobody will change. People will continue passing remarks. People will continue laughing at me, my way of walking. They will do. They will not change. It is me who has to change and put myself at a level higher than their level. I have to put myself, my thinking, higher than these common people. It took some time to understand that, because after all, I was a child. But then, slowly and gradually, and I grew older and being in Pakistan, and when I went to medical school there, I realized that it was not the whole Pakistan that was bad or, that did not accept me. I got such a wonderful classmates and the medical school, Aga Khan University, which is one of the premier private universities in Pakistan. So I got very good friends, good teachers who supported me. So it took me time to understand, but I did understand because you have to. If you don't accept that this is what you are, and there is nothing wrong with it. This is how God wanted you to be. This is how it was destined. Why, if I kept on saying, why I got polio, what have I done? You are the one who are going to suffer and you will never move in your life. So it is very important to be, not only be successful, but just to be happy. Be happy whatever you have today, in whatever form you are. If you're not happy in the form and what God has given you, you will never be happy even if you become a billionaire. Even if you be normal, you will never be happy. I'm saying this because I've gone through so much in my life and I've realized it. Yes, I was lucky that I got this great support from parents. I was lucky that I got great teachers and friends in medical school. Even if the number was small and people making fun of you were more. Even if the world within medical school was only for 8 hours and remaining hours was the reality, the common people of Pakistan, that was nothing but then making fun and making comments and bullying me. What we have to do is pledge on what you have got from these good people who support you, who see you what you are, what your strengths are, and what you can bring. And that kind of, those things, I always reminded myself. When was the time I realized I was powerful? It was when people's comments and their taunts did not hit me. And that was when I came to US in 2003. I went back to Pakistan many times after 2003. So every time when I went back, I felt like, oh, it's a different world. The people were saying, they were still passing those comments. It did not hit me. It did not even touch me. When we say I'm powerful, I'm not talking about power of position, power of education. I'm not talking about that. I call myself a powerful woman. And here is the reason why. Yes, I am educated. Not only I did medicine, I went beyond. I specialized in cardiology, preventive cardiology. My education did not stop there. I further went and did receive education in research. I did first master's and then Ph.D. in heart disease epidemiology. Then after that, I was very lucky that US embraced me, and I have been so much successful in securing high-level positions in the US. So I'm not saying I'm powerful from that aspect, that I have been in a big positions, C-suite positions. No, I'm not saying that, because these positions, they come and go. Education-wise, education gives us knowledge. Education make us humble human beings. Education does not make us powerful. Education gives us knowledge, how we can love each other, how we can be humane. And I still, till date, I try myself not to intentionally, not to hurt anyone. I try to be a good soul. But I am powerful because I can withstand any circumstances in life. Nothing can shake me. That is what I mean by I am powerful. Either a happiness or a sorrow moment, either somebody coming and telling me, talking, bad words, nothing can shake me. That is the reason why I say I'm very powerful. The other reason is, not only I can take care of myself, I am so powerful, I take care of my family too. I take care of my son. I take care of my husband. Story does not end there. I am powerful because I stand for other women too. Many people know this. I fight for women's right. I stand by their side. So that is nothing to do with the education. That is nothing to do with the position. It is the personality. It is the experience, the life that I've gone through. All those phases that I've gone through in a developing country as well as in a developed country like US. And let me say this very clearly. US gave me opportunities, but US was also not the bed of roses. I had bad experience too. There was a phase that people started to kind of, humiliate me and try to kind of bring me down in terms of my personality. I almost went into depression. Let me say this. There was this phase. But my husband stood back next to me. I controlled myself. That no, nobody has any right to take over me. I can take care of myself. So I am a powerful woman because I can stand all weathers. I can be not just I can take care of myself alone. I can take care of others also. I want to share one thing here, which I believe it is very important. I have said this again and again, that life is not bed of roses. And what I mean by that, let me tell you, women, they go through different phases. Before marriage, that is a different phase. After marriage, it's a different phase. And when you have a child, that's a different phase. I have a son. My husband, I couldn't have a better husband than Arun. He has taken care of me, not like, physically supportive. He never supports me physically. Let me say this clearly. Because he thinks that I'm a normal person. I don't need any sympathy or pity from my husband or from anyone. And he has never, ever, he loves me the way I am. Many times when I fall, of course, we are clumsy people. I fall. And he just stands there because he knows I don't want his help. I will get of myself. There was this one instance, we were at someone's place, and I fell because of, there was a bulge in the carpet. And I didn't see that, and I fell. And my husband was standing, and he was there. And then these friends of ours would say, Arvind, can help your wife. And he said, she doesn't need my help, she get up. You may think that what kind of a person he is. No. You don't need any pity. You don't need any sympathy. Trust yourself. Trust your own power. And you can do it. That is what I have trusted. I've trusted myself. My son, when he was born, when I was pregnant, let me take a step back here. As I said, I have this tendency of falling because I wear this brace, which I have to unlock, right? Which doesn't unlock. I walk, it's like a pillar, And if I have to sit, I have to unlock my brace. So if something happens, then there is no way I can stop myself, right? Even if I try my level self, to hold on to something. But there is a tendency that we fall a lot. When he was he was in my tummy, I did not fall a single time. And he was born except 9 months, 9 hours of labor, no issue, nothing, normal child. I am so blessed. Then raising him was quite an experience too. I enjoyed my best with him. Then my son is a golfer. He goes to school and he plays golf. He just graduated a month ago. When he was in 9th or 10th class, or maybe 11th class, he cried to me. I said, "What's wrong? Why are you crying? What happened?" And he is very much attached with me, and I am attached with him too. So he tells me, "Mama, why? Why I don't have a normal mother?" When I told him, "Because you are special," I felt like now what I do, I have been raising myself above those smaller brains in Pakistan, against those timid minds. Here is my own son who is saying why I don't have a normal mother. He feels ashamed of going with me outside in the market. So it hurts that your own son, who you feel like will be very proud of you, but there's nothing, he feels very proud of me. But at the same time, this was when he was like, as I said, 9th or 10th class, he was young because you're seeing, you're a teenager and you are meeting with other friends and their parents. Of course, it's very natural to ask that question, that why my mother is not, normal like other moms. And then intentionally, either he said it intentionally or unintentionally, that no, Mama, you don't come to school, right? When he graduated, I did not go to his graduation. Not that I didn't want to, but I did not want him to feel bad. Did it hurt me? Just a little. As I said, I'm a powerful monk. He realizes now, he knows how grateful he is to have me as his mother. And we cherish those. He's so attached with me. That's not his fault. Then I realize kids, they grow. They do think about these things, of course. If I were at his place, I would have thought the same thing. Why can't I have a normal mom who can walk with me, straight and comes with me in golf, games and all that? I avoid going. I love to go with him in the market for shopping and all that. But I do avoid just simply because, I feel like I don't know how his friends would be. We have good bonding. I just wanted to bring this up to let you know that these things happen and these are very normal and there is nothing wrong with it. If you feel, oh gosh, my own family has not accepted it, it happens. Nothing is new under the sun. Things happen. Your own child who loves you the most can also say things like this. But remember, they are kids. You are much powerful than that. What my legacy would be? I believe that we get life only once. Whatever it is, life as life with normal limbs, life with abnormal limbs, it doesn't matter. Live the life to its fullest. Whatever it is only once you've got the life. What is gone, it's gone. If you keep on thinking the past again and again, that why this happened to me, what have I done, why I can't walk, why I cannot be like other people, you will destroy this beautiful present time. So what I want people to remember me is as a powerful woman who stood up for any challenge, whatever came to her life, and lived my life with dignity and honor. Even if the challenges were so difficult, when my own family members sometimes told me, no, it must be something you who have done it. But I have lived my life and will continue to live my life with full dignity and respect. Because if I also behave like other people, that was the difference between me and them.